And this thing is getting even more bizarre.
This Birkin bag at Hermes Boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost? This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, it's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy.
Not just calling them out, they're showing the world exactly where your $1,000 handbag or your $100 leggings are really being made.
Louis Vuitton, the iconic luxury brand celebrated for its classic elegance, is currently in the midst of a major crisis unfolding right before our eyes. And at the heart of it lies a deliberate act of revenge that rivals the twists of the most gripping TV dramas. Imagine the world of haute couture combined with high-stakes drama. While many assumed LV's reputation was invincible, investigative journalist Megyn Kelly has just dismantled that belief entirely. She exposed a key element of LV's branding, the famed Made in France tags, and uncovered a startling reality that has left consumers shocked. Those labels may not be entirely truthful. Kelly's report reveals that these coveted tags are more than just deceptive. They're part of a bigger facade that's now collapsing. The parties who felt wronged by the brand didn't simply walk away. Instead, they carefully orchestrated their comeback, biding their time for the perfect moment to act. Now, as the fashion industry watches the fallout, it's clear this isn't your average scandal. This is a meticulously planned attack on LV's reputation. Behind the scenes, the situation has escalated far beyond damaged branding or lost revenue. What's emerging is a complete unraveling of a once-impenetrable luxury giant. Megyn Kelly recently revealed one of the most significant exposés in the fashion world's recent memory. Through a thorough and fearless investigation, she uncovered that Louis Vuitton's long-term partnership with crucial overseas manufacturers didn't simply end on amicable terms. It imploded dramatically. According to the insiders she spoke with, this rupture wasn't about contractual disputes or money alone. It was something far deeper, highly personal and charged with emotion. Workers and supervisors in Chinese factories, responsible for crafting thousands of Louis Vuitton's iconic products over the years, have stepped forward with serious claims. Although they meticulously assembled every detail, from stitching to hardware, they say they were largely ignored, underpaid, and worst of all, never given proper acknowledgement. While these luxury items proudly carried Made in France tags worldwide, the actual creators say they were left invisible and unrecognized. The breaking point came when Louis Vuitton began blaming these manufacturers for rising quality issues instead of accepting responsibility. Rather than standing behind their longtime partners who had supported their global operations for decades, the company allegedly shifted the blame onto them. That final act of betrayal pushed these factories past their limit. After years of silence, they resolved not to stay quiet any longer. However, this was no spontaneous act of rebellion or a hasty exit. What followed was far more calculated and deliberate. The factories didn't just protest, they executed a precise, strategic response designed to completely upend the narrative. These manufacturers didn't just leave Louis Vuitton quietly, they engineered a much more powerful response. Over the years, they carefully compiled a treasure trove of proof. Thousands of emails, contracts, payment records, shipping logs, and confidential internal documents that directly challenged Louis Vuitton's public statements. The evidence made it unmistakably clear that the company knowingly allowed a large portion of its products to be produced outside France, contradicting the prestigious Made in France labels. But the factory insiders didn't rush to reveal this information. Instead, they bided their time, observing and strategizing patiently. Then, with exact timing, they launched their revelation just days before Louis Vuitton's most important fashion show of the year, a high-profile event meant to solidify the brand's status at the top of luxury fashion. One insider described this move as a fashion takedown. This well-planned disclosure wasn't just aimed at disrupting a single event. It targeted the core of Louis Vuitton's carefully crafted image. The consequences were immediate and far-reaching. Store operations stalled, supply chains froze, and global orders were delayed or canceled outright. But the impact went beyond financial disruption. This was a deliberate attack on the brand's reputation, designed to reveal what the factories say was years of deceit and false advertising, while publicly embarrassing one of fashion's most iconic names to the fullest extent. Within hours, the fallout spread rapidly. Yet the damage didn't stop at corporate headquarters. It rippled directly into the heart of celebrity circles. And no community felt the impact more strongly than Hollywood's elite. Celebrities didn't just pull back from Louis Vuitton, they quickly severed ties with the brand. Almost immediately after the controversy erupted, some of Hollywood's biggest stars began canceling their partnerships. One well-known actress, who whose identity remains confidential, reportedly scrapped a multi-million-dollar campaign with Louis Vuitton just days before shooting was scheduled to start. Her team described the decision as a necessary reputation safeguard, emphasizing that associating with the brand amid such turmoil could cause lasting harm to her public image. Following that, Kylie Jenner's usual flood of designer posts came to a sudden halt. Famous for flaunting luxury labels and tagging brands, Kylie stopped posting Louis Vuitton products altogether. No new photos, no brand mentions, no endorsements. Her fans quickly picked up on the change, and it sent a strong message. Meanwhile, sources close to Kim Kardashian revealed that her advisors are pressing her to pause all Louis Vuitton promotions. The reasoning? Behind the scenes, top celebrity stylists are reportedly circulating a blacklist. And what brand leads that list? Louis Vuitton. Stylists are said to be warning their clients that wearing LV now risks public backlash rather than praise. Once a coveted emblem of luxury, the brand has shifted to a potential public relations hazard. In the exclusive fashion circles, donning Louis Vuitton today isn't about setting trends. It's about taking a gamble. Instead of being viewed as a fashion icon, you risk being seen as out of touch or indifferent to the ongoing controversy. Yet the biggest shock to the fashion world wasn't just the silence from the stars. It was a decisive action taken by a true icon, a move that could reshape Louis Vuitton's future forever. The internet has been buzzing nonstop with rumors surrounding none other than Beyoncé. And if even a fraction of these whispers hold truth, it could mean serious trouble for Louis Vuitton. Sources close to the matter claim that Beyoncé's team issued a strict ultimatum to the luxury brand, giving them exactly 54 hours to publicly address the escalating concerns about their manufacturing practices. Specifically, they wanted Louis Vuitton to clarify where their products were actually made and whether overseas workers were being misrepresented or unfairly compensated. When Louis Vuitton failed to provide any official response, Beyoncé's camp appears to have taken a decisive and strategic step. The custom-made Louis Vuitton dress that was slated for her Renaissance film premiere was abruptly pulled from the lineup. The gown was scrapped and replaced at the very last moment. Soon after, various tweets showcasing the design and plans for the dress mysteriously disappeared from fan pages and insider accounts online. This sparked a flurry of activity on social media, with Beyoncé's fans expressing a mix of frustration, confusion, and intense speculation. Whether every detail of this behind-the-scenes story is 100% accurate is becoming less relevant. In the eyes of the public, the damage has already been done. The signal is loud and clear. If someone as brand-conscious and famously private as Beyoncé is distancing herself from Louis Vuitton, especially during a major cultural event like a film premiere, there is clearly a significant issue at play. Her quiet withdrawal and calculated separation from the brand send a far stronger message than any formal announcement ever could. As Hollywood scrambles to manage the fallout, Gen Z isn't holding back. Instead, they are channeling their anger into creative content that is quick, witty, and unrelentingly critical. Across TikTok, a new viral trend is capturing attention, and it's definitely not the kind Louis Vuitton wanted. Known as the #LVPurge Challenge, this movement is rapidly gaining momentum. Influencers and creators are posting videos of themselves parting ways with their prized Louis Vuitton belongings. Some are dramatically tossing bags into trash bins or donation boxes, while others go as far as burning them in backyard fires. There are even clips of people slicing up handbags with scissors or performing theatrical farewell skits set to dramatic music. The trend doesn't stop at the videos. Comment sections have become buzzing hubs of tags and calls for participation. Viewers are tagging celebrities like Zendaya, your move, or Hailey Bieber, when are you purging? The clear message? Wearing Louis Vuitton today marks you as out of touch, or worse, complicit in a brand that's lost its way. What once signified wealth and exclusivity is now being branded as a symbol of deception and falsehood. For Gen Z, who place high value on honesty, ethics, and transparency, holding on to a brand accused of misleading its consumers feels like inviting social rejection. The brand that once stood as a shining icon of fashion prestige is quickly becoming a cautionary tale. Luxury status doesn't hold the same appeal anymore, especially when the evidence points to misleading labels and hidden manufacturing. With every TikTok video reaching millions and sparking thousands of comments, Louis Vuitton isn't just losing buyers, it's rapidly losing trust. Just as it seemed this story couldn't deepen further, Megyn Kelly delivered one last bombshell. And believe us, it's the coldest, most unsettling chapter yet. Megyn Kelly didn't merely expose Louis Vuitton. She hinted that this might just be the opening act of a much bigger crisis. According to insiders familiar with the investigation, what we're witnessing now is only the first stage of a wider collapse. Sources from other major Chinese manufacturing centers are reportedly preparing to come forward next, and the names involved are staggering. Think Chanel, Prada, and even Balenciaga, each allegedly using the same strategy, outsourcing their production while labeling goods as made in Italy or made in France to maintain an image of luxury and exclusivity. But it doesn't stop there. These forthcoming revelations are said to include a trove of documents. Everything from email correspondence and invoices to confidential contracts and shipping records. If verified, these papers could prove that executives at these high-end brands weren't just vaguely aware, but fully informed about the true origins of their products, deliberately marketing a false narrative to consumers. Now, these companies appear to be scrambling to contain the fallout. Some are reportedly offering hush money to workers, trying to prevent more leaks, while others are preparing legal actions to silence whistleblowers before their stories go public. However, this is not the early 2000s anymore. In today's world of TikTok exposés, Reddit investigations, and permanent digital records, secrets rarely stay hidden for long. Just one viral revelation or shocking post could bring down an entire brand overnight. If even a portion of these allegations is true, the fashion industry might be on the brink of a profound shakeup. Not merely a scandal, but a potential extinction-level event for some of its biggest names. So, what does this all mean for the future of luxury fashion? One thing is undeniable: the old standards are crumbling, and today's consumers, especially the younger generations, are no longer willing to accept illusions. So, what's the true cost behind that $38,000 Hermès bag? Spoiler alert, it goes far beyond premium leather and expert craftsmanship. After everything that's surfaced this week, the most precious and fragile asset in the world of luxury fashion is something intangible: trust. And with Louis Vuitton's reputation now unraveling, we're seeing just how quickly that trust can crumble when tested. This isn't simply a rough patch in public relations. It's a full-scale credibility collapse. Celebrities who once proudly showcased their designer accessories are now distancing themselves. Stylists who used to champion the brand on red carpets are treating Louis Vuitton like a risk to avoid. Meanwhile, the factories that were once overlooked and hidden behind glossy marketing are stepping into the spotlight. They're armed with undeniable evidence, and they're steering the narrative. Megyn Kelly didn't just break a story, she ignited a powder keg. The shockwaves aren't just shaking Louis Vuitton. They're forcing the entire luxury fashion industry to confront a hard truth. What happens when the myth of made in France is exposed as little more than a clever label swap? When consumers start seeing past the polished image, what's left? This goes far beyond a single brand's mistake. It's an industry-wide reckoning with decades of carefully crafted images and hidden realities. In a world where transparency is becoming the expectation, secrecy turns into a major liability. And right now, we're witnessing the consequences of that change unfold in real time. If you thought the Louis Vuitton situation was intense, just wait. Industry insiders warn that other major names are teetering on the brink. The dominoes are lined up, and when the next brand falls, it could be bigger, bolder, and even more surprising. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because the next episode in this unfolding luxury saga is already underway, and you won't want to miss a moment.